Fantastic. Well, Ferdinand, thank you very much for taking the time.
Yes, my pleasure.
The sound is much better than the Dutch version. Sorry for the Dutch listeners. There's a Dutch interview as well, but the sound was a little bit. You can hear it, but this is much better.
If you are interested, you can hear it.
Yeah, if you really don't understand English, go check out the Dutch interview. I really appreciated Ferdinand doing it again because he has an interesting background. And well, let's jump into that, Ferdinand. Tell the viewers maybe like who you are, what you've done in the past, and what you do now.
I started as a journalist. I studied journalism in Utrecht, in the middle of the country of the Netherlands, you know. And after that, I worked for a couple of years. I see the sun. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's rare to have sun in the Netherlands, so it's
yeah, with snow.
Yeah, beautiful, eh?
After that, I was a couple of years. I was a journalist, a reporter, and I wrote mainly for local newspapers. But I got also interested in the layouting the papers and designing.
Yeah.
So I became also a layout editor. I hope that's the right word in English.
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, that's the link between the editorial team and the layout department. And it was an interesting time because there was it was the transformation, the transition from analog to digital.
Right.
Because the people over there, they work on the layout department with those little sharp knives.
Yeah. Cut it out.
Out of the typesetting machine, they can paper strips of columns of text.
Yeah.
And they had to cut and paste and glue the whole paper together. And I was only allowed give us instructions.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I was not allowed to use the knife.
No.
So with the hands on my back, I had to say how they have to make those pages.
Right.
But in that time, there was the layout computer was introduced. So the beginning of the desktop publishing. And I was allowed to work on that machine. And I could make the same things as they did by hand, I could make on the computer.
Wow. You remember the name of that machine, the system?
Yeah, they call it the pagina opmaak beeldschermen.
The page layout system machine.
Yeah, with the desk.
Okay.
So the tables were turned. I could teach those. In my eyes, they were old men. They were ready for retire. Maybe they were so old as I am now. That's weird. I was young, so I was faster and was quicker on the computer. So it was an interesting time because the transition.
Sure is, yeah. And then at a certain point, you went into you started your own business and you went into desktop publishing, correct? Using
yes.
QuarkXPress, I believe, right?
Yeah, I started with I had an Atari computer, Atari ST.
Yeah.
It's known as a game computer, but at that time it was a very good, actually for desktop publishing, it was very good. It was the first real WYSIWYG before Apple was. What you see is what you get, screen, little screen, but still. And later I worked a little bit with MS-DOS and Windows, but also I worked with a Next computer. The Next was the brand of Steve Jobs after he left Apple. And I started my own company, Formaat, in 1991. So it's exactly 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I had a little office in a computer shop in Amsterdam. And they became the reseller of the Next computer. And it was also interesting for me. And I was a little bit the expert on the DTP department, desktop publishing department, for that computer.
Wow.
But that brand didn't make it so well. So I switched to the Macintosh.
Yeah.
And after that, Steve Jobs also went back to Apple.
To Macintosh, yeah.
But I don't think there's a connection. You never know.
You never know, you know. So you moved to the Mac, and then you started using, at a certain point, you switched to QuarkXPress, I gather.
Yeah, immediately I used QuarkXPress.
Yeah.
Then for I never used so much PageMaker or
right. Things. Okay. Before we jump into Quark and of course eventually InDesign, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what Formaat.nl does exactly today. You know.
This is my little company. I'm alone, and I like to be that way. So I have made a lot of printed matter in the beginning, all kinds of stuff, but especially books and magazines. Magazines, a little bit with my journalistic background.
Yeah,
I guess that was nice to do, and books with a more and more technical view. I also made more and more books with desktop publishing, and that became also a focus point of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And later, till now, so 10 years ago, I started to make ePubs, ebooks. And that's also a little bit technical thing, combining with the designing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It was also an interesting time because 10 years ago, nobody was interested in ebooks. And especially designers who supposed to make those ebooks after they made the books for paper, for print, they had to make an ebook. That's the way you do.
Yeah.
First print and then ebook. But those designers were not interested to do that, or they cannot, or they wouldn't do that. So I was asked by a big publisher in Holland to make a workflow. So they can make an ePub with a workflow I made with a button and with templates and with style sheets and the whole thing.
Scripts.
Scripts, and then it was easier to make ePubs. Because, and that I did, I started with that. It was a nice start, a new career actually.
You had a whole workflow, made a whole workflow?
Yeah, I made a workflow. And from that time, I'm kind of expert to make ePubs for all kinds of publishers and all kinds of ePubs.
It's still a big business today because a lot of people don't like to deal with it still today, I think, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, and that's good for me.
Yeah. Well, it's not only I don't think don't like it. I see a lot of questions on the InDesign forums, like InDesign Secrets and CreativePro.com. A lot of people have a lot of technical problems creating ebooks, ePubs. You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's actually a simple technique. It's not, but the most people, if they try to make an ePub, they almost get there, but the last 20%, they don't achieve.
Yeah.
So, and if you have an ePub with 80% ready, it's not good. You can do nothing with it.
No.
So you have to go to 100%.
Yeah.
So the first step is not so difficult, and there's a button also in InDesign to make an ePub.
Yeah.
And you've got something, but it's not good enough.
Right.
And 10 years ago, it was really crap. So I had to, that was the challenge of making that eWorkflow to solve all that kind of problems.
Yeah. And you're on? Okay, so here is Formaat.nl, Formaat.nl. You can see his webpage. Just use Google Translate, and you can see everything in English. But you see everything over his ebooks and database publishing. And if you'd like to contact Ferdinand, here is his contact address with his beautiful, that's where you live, this beautiful green area, huh?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Well, beautiful white area right now. You should put your drone up and get some footage of the snow, I hope.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes. I don't see it on your YouTube channel yet. Hopefully you'll upload the snow footage to your YouTube channel, you know. But this is his hobby page, of course.
Yes.
But All right, Ferdinand. Well, thank you very. Oh yeah, and this is Ferdinand on LinkedIn. Let's not forget that. So if you'd like to connect with Ferdinand, you can do that over on LinkedIn and see all about his history. And that's what I like best about that. Of course, as a QXPMarkz user, Q2ID user in the past, that you would do an interview with us, but to hearing your background going from journalistic background into the graphic design or layout background, it's like a very interesting background. And from the beginning of desktop publishing till now, Yeah.
That's amazing. If I look back, I like that I lived through that.
Yeah.
Ik heb dat meegemaakt.
That you have experienced that. I think what a lot of younger people don't realize is that just making a simple change back in the day wasn't that easy. You had to like cut out and paste in the change. And in your case, you had to actually first ask someone to do that and then check their work and then tell them it was wrong. And it took sometimes days.
Yes. Well, it must also be quick because it was a newspaper.
Yeah.
But you had to think more before you act. And now you can also just start and make errors and then
see how it goes. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point. I mean, the way to lead into Markzware here. Have you ever heard of FlightCheck before?
Yeah.
Because that's the pre-flight process, of course, is still important, but even more so important back in the day when everything was going to print and there was film in the middle and plates and all those different people before, if you found an error at the end, so same thing. Yeah. Did you ever use FlightCheck? Do you know, or?
I think in the past,
in the early days, cool.
In the early days,
yeah, nice.
Not anymore. No,
well, it's built in now to InDesign, and we're coming out with a new version of FlightCheck, which will be very interesting because our whole process is standalone, so you don't need InDesign or Quark or Acrobat to do the pre-flighting, just like with you're experiencing with QXPMarkz. Standalone, you don't need to have the applications to preview and to output. Of course, you want to use it, you have to have InDesign eventually. And which dive into that now. So you have QuarkXPress. At a certain point, you switch to InDesign, I guess?
Yes. At the beginning, I think it started with InDesign 2 or so.
Yeah.
In that area.
CS2,
and, CS2, and from that I only use InDesign.
Yeah.
So I don't have QuarkXPress anymore on my computer.
No.
But sometimes I get QuarkXPress documents from designers who made a book for print.
Yeah.
And I have to make an ePub of it. You can do it in QuarkXPress, but my workflow, it's an InDesign, so that's my starting point.
Right.
So I have to convert those documents from Quark to InDesign.
And that's how you found Markzware.
It's already 10 years ago that I found this product of you, Markzware.
Wow.
I think via Google or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't imagine that there was a program who was converting a QuarkXPress into InDesign. I think it's a big deal actually.
Yeah,
to do that.
It is.
And but it's so simple to do if you have that program.
Right.
I told you before, it is import, export, and before you know, the magic has already happened.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Well, that's what. Okay. So that's what So Ferdinand has been a valued customer of ours for like 10 years, and
I think so.
Yeah, and at a certain point recently, late 2020, Ferdinand was asking about the new QXPMarkz, so we switched him over, which all Q2ID users on the Macintosh are now switching over to QXPMarkz. And the Windows version is still Q2ID only, but that'll also be eventually QXPMarkz. So how was your experience with the new QXPMarkz with your Quark to InDesign conversions?
Yeah, it's just perfect because it's a standalone program now. So I just open a QuarkXPress document, I load it in, I'll wait a few seconds, and I can export it as an IDML file.
Yeah.
That's what I like, IDML for InDesign. Then I can open it in whatever InDesign version.
Yeah.
And what I need is that InDesign document with all the aspects, ePubs. It's important that everything is tagged.
Yeah.
So paragraphs, characters, and objects. And I need those tags. And if some designer used those tags in QuarkXPress, and I converted with QXPMarkz, then it still exists in InDesign, and I can work on.
Wow.
So that's very, very important.
Yeah.
And if they don't use the tags, I have to find and search and find for those old things in like italics or small caps and that kind of thing.
Right.
And they still exist, and that's the main thing for me.
Right.
I can tag it, and I can make the ePub.
Right, yeah. And like you mentioned in the Dutch interview, in the beginning, you were very happy that for the transition that QXPMarkz comes with some scripts that loaded up in InDesign, just like the plugin is today. It works within InDesign, right?
As a plugin, and now it's standalone.
Right.
And I discovered that automation tool in that standalone program.
Yeah.
And it's even more fun because it's even more simple. It's drag and drop a QXP document, and automatically it exports as an IDML file on the right spot on my computer.
Right.
So yeah, it's so simple. I don't spend a lot of time in that program.
That's the idea.
Yeah. It's just
click and done. Yeah.
Drop and go.
Yeah, drag, drop, and go. Yeah, well, that's the idea, and that's what the engineers aim to do. That, like you said, all those intricate tags and styles and hyphenations and justifications, we're converting it all, colors, images, links, But for the user, it should be just, that's it,
Yeah.
How do you?
It's perfect for me.
Yeah, great. How do you like to preview? I mean, I know you don't use it if you use the automation, but isn't that neat how you can get a preview of the Quark file?
It's okay for me to have a look what the document is like for just in a glimpse.
Yeah,
and you can do it with the preview. I'm interested in the inspector. It's also new.
Yeah,
the inspector, and you see at a glance what the main things are from that document.
Right.
How many fonts are used, and when it's made, and which version.
Yeah, which version important.
All those things. It's good to have a view on that.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now, I always ask everybody this, of course, Ferdinand, but I think it's obvious what your answer would be, but would you recommend QXPMarkz to other people needing to convert Quark documents to InDesign? No.
Yes, of course. If you need this conversion, I don't know something else, and it's worth it if you have. Sometimes you have to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy to use. Click Quark to InDesign, and it's there for you. Yeah. So
yes, I recommend it. Recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend. I had a problem saying the Dutch word for recommend, but aanbevelen. Aanbevelen. And you have a problem about it, but you would recommend QXPMarkz.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I would. Yes, excellent. I do.
Well, I liked your comment in the Dutch interview about you don't want me to tell the competition.
No, you have to. If you have to keep it as a secret. That's if you can do that, please do, because my competitors they don't have to know about this magical tool.
No, they don't.
It's a tool because sometimes I can make an ePub because I have this program,
Wow.
So I can make this ePub in InDesign. And if you don't know this program, you can go along. So sometimes I get the work
because of QXPMarkz. Wow, excellent.
That's why it's a little secret.
Yeah, like your secret weapon. And That's what a guy, another interview with PDF to DTP, or PDF to InDesign converter. He was also saying, I almost didn't want to do the YouTube interview because this is my secret weapon, and I don't want the competitors to know about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
of course, competitors are welcome to buy it.
It's also
it's a good tip.
Yeah, it's a good tip, and at the end of the day, it's service that matters. And it should be noted that although conversions are pretty good, generally you're going to have some touching up, here or there. You have to really watch what you're doing because you never know what you're going to come across.
Yeah.
So,
but mainly it's reliable. And that's important for me because I cannot check it in QuarkXPress itself.
Yeah,
I can, so I have to rely on it. So that's and I trust it.
Excellent. Well, Ferdinand, thank you very much. I love your background, your cowboys back there, and your dog, and and do you also play? You play piano a little bit, or keyboards?
Yes. I play a little bit of piano. Yeah.
Wow.
Just as an amateur.
Yeah. No. Great. Very nice. Well, Ferdinand, anything else you want to add before we cut it off here?
So I'm very positive. You heard that? Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't care to give it away as a tip for my competitors. No, it's okay.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate.
I'm very interested actually in PDF to InDesign.
Okay.
To use that, I will explore that. Sometimes I will need that, and that's also must be magical. If that works very well,
that one is amazing too, because like a PDF, you don't have anything left to open a PDF. It's been flattened, or so it seems, and most of the time we can bring it back to life with live text, links, you name it. Even extracting images for reuse. It's it really is.
Because I did sometimes I had a PDF and I explore it, as text.
Yeah.
And for example, the hyphenation. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yes.
I don't know if is that solved in PDF to.
Yeah, we take that into account. We have worked on the textual engine a lot. It's been a lot of work in general. It depends on how the PDF was created. So if they're professionally created PDFs.
Yeah. I can imagine that. Yeah.
But some people, they come to us with some people come with a scanned PDF, and they say, "Oh, it doesn't work." Well, as a scanned document, there was never anything there, Yeah, but I see the text. Yeah, but you can't explain to some people,
Pixels.
Yeah. So anyway, great. Well, Ferdinand, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And we really appreciate your time, and we'll stay in contact.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.